Strus.
This is about the daddy himself.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, George?
I'm thinking what you're thinking.
We got another Strus.
This is a Strus Daddy alert.
Strus Daddy alerta.
Let's go, baby. If you're one of the OG followers to this channel, or you've been around for a long time, because I've been doing this for 2 years, you probably really appreciated that montage. And if you're new here, you're probably extremely confused. I get it. I do appreciate the support though. The channel has been blowing up over the last 2 weeks, obviously with all the Damian Lillard saga going on. But I figured while the news cycle is slow, it's probably a good time to finally say my goodbyes to Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Victor Oladipo, something that is long overdue. Now, you obviously saw the montage. That's something I used to do back in the day. Anytime Max Strus had a great game, we'd go ahead and break out the Strus Daddy alert. That was my guy, man. Max Strus was definitely my guy. Big reason I wanted to get this video out there, just to kind of talk about my memories of the man. My earliest memory is his very first preseason game where he shot like 0 for 8, kept chucking, couldn't hit nothing. And I specifically remember texting my boy Khalil and saying, Max Strus, quote, this is a quote, Max Strus is the worst NBA player I had ever seen. And then I remember he came out his second preseason game, absolutely shot the lights out, and ever since that day I was a fan. I remember going to the basketball courts, and every time I shot a 3, some kids would say Kobe, the dumb kids would say Curry, but I was out there saying preseason game 2 Max Strus, splash. Really liked Max Strus. I like the fact that he came out of nowhere like a lot of the undrafted guys that Miami has, and most importantly, I loved his confidence. I was a really big Duncan Robinson guy too, until he started struggling. Then he started annoying me. But the thing that was annoying about Duncan Robinson is you knew he had the talent, but you could just tell the confidence wasn't there. But that confidence was never an issue for Max Strus. I don't care if he was 0 for 9, 0 for 10. Every single shot he shot next, I felt like was going in, and he felt the same way. And that is a big reason that I like Max Strus. Where the Strus Daddy alert started, I don't know. I guess it goes back to the very first Miami Heat video on this channel where I played this clip. To the Strus is loose. Max Strus, man. Did I hit that note? I don't know, man. Y'all could let me know. But Max Strus, man, the Strus Daddy, okay. I don't know why I said that. I mean, maybe because Max Strus is objectively a handsome guy. Also, no sus stuff. No sus. But he's objectively handsome. I like his confidence and all that stuff, as I was saying. And he's awesome, bro. Really like Max Strus. Now, of course, he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. 4 years, $64 million. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm glad Miami did not sign him for that much. I think they could have went into the bird rights. They would have paid hella in the luxury tax. Now, I don't get the rules with the second apron and this and that, but bottom line, that's not really a guy that I want to pay that much money. Excuse me, it doesn't look like you're subscribed yet. Can you go ahead and fix that for me? No, but for real, liking the video, sharing, subscribing, doing all that good stuff, it really does help me out a lot, so I greatly appreciate it. Now let's get back to the video. Funny, a little bit might be from Duncan Robinson PTSD, overpaying the shooter who had 1.5 good years just for him to fall off a cliff, because really, Max Strus wasn't even that great this past year. I think he finished the regular season like 35% from 3. Had some games in the playoffs, and then of course in the NBA Finals he was like god awful, shooting like 16% from 3. But I'm not gonna hold it against him. Point is though, I'm not super sad He didn't keep him, to be honest, just because of that number, but also because I'm really happy that he did secure his bag. Now, one thing, and good news too, it was a sign and trade with Cleveland. Miami got a 2nd round pick, so that does help us. But the thing that does confuse me is the next guy I want to say goodbye to, which is Gabe Vincent. The confusing part is I have no idea how Max Strus got paid more than Gabe Vincent. I mean, Max Strus, they say, is a shooter, which is very valuable in this league, but Gabe Vincent's percentages last year and in the playoffs are better than Max Strus. And obviously he's a two-way player, but I don't want to turn this into a Gabe versus Max video. But the contract that Gabe got was a lot more reasonable in my opinion. Of course, he went to the Lakers on 3 years, $33 million. That's absolutely a deal I would have did. I would have loved Gabe Vincent on this team. He's proven that he can be a big-time player in the biggest of games, and he is not scared of the moment. Love Gabe Vincent. But it wasn't always that way. There was a period of time on the Heat where I multiple times said that he was not an NBA player. I said that I used to always say this. I used to say he has one skill, and it was trying very hard. That's what the early Gabe Vincent reminded me of. I remember when the Heat first signed him and he had that first game in LA versus the Clippers, he was marketed as this shooter, right? And he was decent in that game, right? So I was like, okay, he's fine. And then he turned into a bit of a shot chucker, took awful, his shot selection was awful, and I started not to be a fan of him. But then he really, really showed his defensive tenacity. That's not a single thing I had ever heard about him when the Heat signed him. That's something that obviously we all picked up on when we started watching him. And of course, his offensive game just got, exponentially better as the years went on, because people forget, Gabe Vincent's been here a minute. He was even on that 2020 team in the bubble that went to the finals, which is, I guess, already, 4 years ago now? So he's been here for a minute, and to see his improvement has been really awesome, even from a true point guard's perspective, a guy that could actually play make. I really, really am a fan of him as a player. I was sad to see him go. Like I said, I think he's a guy that they could have used on this team, but a lot of great memories with Gabe Vincent. Whether it was locking down Trae Young and putting him in hell in the first round of the playoffs last year, and just all the monster ballsy shots he took. The couple in this conference finals versus Boston, just never being scared of the big moment. He's a dog. He's the guy you're going to look back and say is the definition Heat culture. I'm going to miss Gabe Vincent. I hope he does not do good in LA, because screw the Lakers. And the final guy that I want to say goodbye to is Victor Oladipo. Everybody loves Victor Oladipo. I don't have to go on some giant spiel about how great a player and a person he is, because it has been so well documented at this point. I mean, I got friends that work, in the organization or in the arena, and they've said out of all the players they've ever interacted with, Victor Oladipo is the guy who has been the most absolute outstanding human being that they have interacted with in the arena. His story is great. His personality is awesome, and he was obviously an incredible player. Before the injuries, he was a guy that you looked at and said, this is a guy I would love on the Miami Heat. And I remember that trade deadline where they finally got him right at the trade deadline. It was like at 3:01 p.m. the news broke. I was super excited because at the time it was actually him and Kyle Lowry that the Heat were talking about getting. And then the news came out at 3:01. I said I'm gonna refresh Twitter one more time. If they didn't get nothing, I'm done. And then the news came in. The Miami Heat trade Victor Oladipo. I get a little sad. I'm thinking, they're gonna trade some of the guys that I like. And then the news comes in that it was Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley. I remember thinking that Pat Riley just pulled off the greatest heist I've ever seen, because to get a guy the caliber of Victor Oladipo for 2 bums. I was not a fan of Kelly Olynyk at the time. I don't know if I saw him. I'm iffy on this. I said this a couple videos ago too. Some Heat fans like Kelly Olynyk. I'm indifferent. But anyways, I thought it was a giant swindle. Is swindle a word? I don't know. I already said it. Because that Vic with Depot, that Vic with Houston was good. It was a very, very solid Victor Oladipo. And then obviously ended up coming to Miami. Got injured, didn't play for a while, got injured again, and it kind of became the running joke that their mid-season acquisition is going to be Victor Oladipo like every year for 3 years in a row. But when he was healthy here, he really, really had a nice impact. You had the series versus Boston last year where he was locking down Jaylen Brown, stripping him left and right, which they say Jaylen Brown can't dribble, so I don't know how impressed that is. But he was still locking him down. You had the series this year versus Atlanta where he closed it out and ran down the court screaming, "I'm him!" And then, of course, the very giant tragedy in the versus the Milwaukee Bucks in round 1 where he once again got hurt. I forgot what he tore, if it was his quad again or his knee or whatever, but it was a very sad day. You can tell, you can see the life get sucked out of that team for that game. The fact that Oladipo went, and they won that game too, and it was hard to celebrate. But the fact that after everything Victor Oladipo's been through, to recover from season-ending injuries time after time again, and then to get all the way back to a spot where he actually appears to be very healthy, that was sad, man. But the good news is, I think the last update we heard, he's progressing well, and he might even be able to return next season. Now, I'm hopeful of that. I really do hope so, because when you got a guy like that who's gone through so many injuries, you never really know. But first, I guess we'd have to see where he's playing. He's officially traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's got 1 more year left on his deal, so maybe they waive him, gets bought out. Who knows? But I am hopeful that we see Oladipo in the NBA next year. And who knows? Maybe he finds his way back to the Miami Heat once again. But that's really all I got for this video. Just kind of wanted to come out there and say my goodbyes to these guys. I think it was long overdue because I really ended up truly falling in love with those 3 guys. Omer Yurtseven, I did like him, and then I realized he sucks. So that's all I'm gonna say about him. But that's all I gotta say about this video and these goodbyes. Make sure y'all comment down below and tell me some of your memories about Gabe and Max and Depot. One thing I do want to say is tomorrow, which should be Friday if you're watching this video on Thursday, I have a masterpiece dropping. It's a Bill Simmons exposed / slander video, and y'all gonna love it. It's gonna be a good one. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, or if you did not like, leave a dislike, because I can't tell you what to do. That's all I gotta say though. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.